So I know it's May, and I know it's kind of early for a top 10 summer list, but let's look at it this way. You're stuck at home, you have time to peruse the internet, maybe you want to pick up one of these guys. You got a lot of that stimulus money laying around. So I figured I'd do it, and at the end of the day, I've been getting entirely too much sun, and it is really getting hot here in South Louisiana, so you know what? It's not too early for me. Stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? My name is Joshua, and this is our channel, ScentSense. To all the loyal subscribers who continue to watch my videos every time I put them out, to you fine folks, whoever you may be, I appreciate you. And to all you new people who may be checking out the channel for the very first time, and you haven't been able to decide if you want to stick around or not, after you're finished watching the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, just put this on in the background. You know, maybe you'll decide you like it enough to stick around. If not, I won't be like Isaiah Thomas and whine about it. Today we'll be talking about the top 10 scents that I will be wearing this summer in the year 2020. These scents, in my opinion, will be kind of important because that'll be one of the very few times that I'll actually be able to interact with people in 2020 and see what people think about these. These will be scents that I will actually wear, and if you follow me on Instagram, I have been lacking lately, but I will post during the summertime my daily wears and what I'll be wearing, and you can see that I'm not full of crap, like some people may be, or may not be. So enough jibber jabber, let's just dive right into it. Starting off the list at number 10 is a fragrance that is often hated on and overlooked and just not loved, like a wounded child lost in the desert. It's not that dramatic, but my buddy Giorgio over at the channel, The Fragrance Apprentice, just recently crapped all over this fragrance and it burned me in my heart. But I definitely think he's wrong, and I definitely enjoy it. I think it's great for the summertime. The fact that they found a way to make this fragrance not as cloying and not so clubby and not so douchey is fantastic to me. Anyway, at number 10, from the house of Paco Rabanne, 1 Million Cologne. So of course you've got the gaudy bottle like usual, but the cool thing about this one was it was one of the few ones with the actual cap that came off the top. Instead of being stuck where you had to press this button and hold the stupid gold brick like this, you got the spray button. And it's not a whole lot better when it comes to that, but the way the bottle looks, I think is pretty neat. I bought this as a partial. As you can see, it was about halfway full, so I have put a sizable dent in it in comparison to what it was when I got it, but I did buy it as a partial. I suggest you people do the same. Quick segue, partials are really easy to buy. You can find them on Facebook fragrance groups. Just go ahead and jump on Facebook, type in fragrance in the search for groups, and you'll find a ton of them. Make sure the person you're buying from is somebody who is reputable. Ask around. People will give you references, if you will, and always use goods and services. Protect your money through PayPal. If you want to know more about that and how to buy fragrances online, let me know in the comment section below and I'll make a video about it. Jumping right back into the fragrance, this is 1 Million done fresh. This is not nearly as cloying. This is more summertime, vibey kind of 1 Million. So you're not thinking in the club, you're thinking more on the beach, maybe at a beach club. This would definitely work. This is definitely one I'll be wearing this summer. And if you haven't smelled it, I suggest you at least get a decant. And if I'm not mistaken, it's pretty darn cheap on the web. At number 10 from the house of Paco Rabanne, Paco Rabanne's 1 Million Cologne. At number 9 is a fragrance that has to be worn in the months of summer. If you are a frag head, you gotta buy it. It's kind of like a rite of passage, if you will. This is probably one of the easiest to wear and easiest to buy fragrances because it's so darn dirt cheap. Enough rambling. From the house of Nautica, Nautica Voyage. I don't know why, but when I see this bottle and I kind of move it around, I feel like I'm on the ocean, you know? I feel like one of those guys, those preppy guys with the, you know, the sweaters tied around their neck with the khaki shorts, and they, you know, they stand like this as they look off into the sunset. I don't know where those dudes are ever looking. I mean, if you can let me know what they're doing, maybe looking for a nautical star in the middle of the day, I don't know, but they're always staring off into some distant land like the yacht they're on isn't important. It's kind of dumb. This is a super fresh fragrance that has a watery cucumber kind of vibe. Think of those cucumber melon fragrances that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s that were like all the rave. You know, every girl who ever went to Bath & Body Works bought a lotion that had that smell. That's kind of what this is, but it's fresh and it's done kind of manly. This is definitely something you should grab if you haven't gotten it. It's so cheap that honestly a blind buy is worth it. You can buy this for the price of like 2 Starbucks, coffees. You can buy this off of Fragrance Net for like 15 bucks. Definitely a great summer fragrance, definitely a great blind buy. I wouldn't tell you buy it blindly if I didn't think it was worth your time. From the house of Nautica, at number 9, Nautica Voyage. At number 8 is a fragrance from the house of Guerlain, or Guerlain if that's how you say it. No judgment here. At number 8, from the Acqua Allegoria line from Guerlain, the fragrance is Limon Verde. Lemon Verde is a fragrance that is perfect for the summertime. Think lemon, bright citruses, think fig. This is a earthy, sweet, juicy, delectable fragrance. This is definitely something that is more leaning towards the feminine person in your life. But if you're comfortable in your own sexuality and you just like to smell pleasant and clean and refreshing, and man, you just want to, spray this in the air wherever you are and just, it's so good. This can be worn by a man or a woman if you're secure in yourself. If you're not, maybe reevaluate that. Maybe there's some problems that you have. But other than that, this is something that is, in my opinion, a quintessential summertime fragrance. A lot of the fragrances from the Acqua Allegoria line are very, very great. They all go around the $30 or $40 mark, so they're actually really accessible. And these bottles are just quite awesome. I mean, you got the honeycomb effect. The cap's really cute. It's got a bumblebee on the top, or bee on the top. It's really great fragrance, really great house. You should go check it out. Again, at number 8 from the house of Guerlain, Limon Verde. At number 7 is a lemon-centric fragrance. This is supposed to give you that fresh, lemony vibe, and it does it quite well. From the house of Maison Margela and the replica line, Under the Lemon Trees. So every one of the fragrances from this line are supposed to be reminiscent of an area, a time, a city, a place, a thing, and this one is lemon trees. It's supposed to harken back to a Providence in 1987 that was in the city of Palermo. It's really, really great. It's got this bright, sunny lemon vibe. It's super, super clean. It's light. It doesn't have super great longevity. This is definitely not something you're gonna wear and it's gonna just project like a monster and have super long longevity. Not gonna do that. This is a relaxing and subtle fragrance. This is something you wear for you. This is something you spray on to help you feel fresh and warm and just feel like it's summertime. So if you're into that very natural, clean, and refreshing lemon vibe, this is definitely something you should go check out. And go check out the whole replica line. Jazz Club is very, very good. By the Fireplace is very good. I have another fragrance that was gifted to me from my wife called Cotton, and it literally smells like cotton. It's super, super cool. Anyway, enough rambling. From the house of Maison Margela, from the replica line, Under the Lemon Trees. Fragrance that is going to be very stereotypical of every summertime list, but it's from my favorite house, and it just has to be on the list. I know some people are going to say, oh, everyone makes this on their list, and it's always on the list, and it's because it's good. It's because it's good. From the house of Versace, Versace's Man Eau Fraiche. So this bottle is about halfway full. I bought this thing at least 7 or 8 years ago. Man, this thing is old. It's actually a tester. I don't know if you can see that, but on the back here it has the notes and everything. I didn't have a cap. This is quite a perfect summertime scent. I think that anybody who's been a frag head for any period of time or a fragrance collector knows about this one. This is a super fresh, clean, sparkling summertime fragrance that just works. This is lemon, this is other citruses balanced with a little bit of wood and musk, but this one really, really shines in the summertime and especially in the high, high heat. Newer formulations, I'm sure, have a little bit of a problem in the longevity department, but when it comes to this one, they're relatively cheap. You're looking at $30, $35 a bottle. So if you want to just, get that up in the air, it's just so good, man. I've never had a person tell me that they didn't like the way I smelled. I've never had a person say, man, that's quite off-putting. So at number 6, from the house of Versace, Versace's Man Eau Fraiche. At number 5 is a fragrance that has fallen a little further back than usual in my summertime list, but this one right here, it's like a love of mine. This is one of the fragrances that if I could literally only own 5, it'd probably be in that list. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make a list about that. I don't want to see anyone make a list about that, so don't get any ideas. But anyway, this is, in my opinion, my best. Don't think about it, just grab and spray fragrance, kind of what you get from Dior Sauvage or Versace Dylan Blue or Prada Luna Rosa Carbon. I like this one better. From the house of Bulgari at number 5, Bulgari Aqua. Bulgari Aqua kind of gives a little more uniqueness to the blue craze of fragrances. It has a seaweed note, it has a salty vibe. I know when you hear seaweed you think gross, but just think it's very, very watery. It smells like a natural water situation. You know, you got seaweed, you got fish, you got salt in the water. No, there's no fish, but this is a blue fragrance with a dash of salt. This is a little more mature than your average blue fragrance, a little more mature than your Versace Dylan Blue or your Dior Sauvage. Think more Bleu de Chanel, you know, level of maturity out of the blue fragrances. But this one right here is definitely much more unique than the rest of them. So if you're looking for a blue fragrance, a new blue fragrance, maybe you want to expand your world when it comes to those, but you don't want the same old humdrum that you know you're used to getting. At number 5, from the house of Bulgari Aqua. Bulgari, not Bulgaris, Bulgari. At number 4 is a fragrance that made number 1 in my top 10 list last year. If you want to watch that video, it's here. This fragrance, in my opinion, is the best flanker from this line. And I know I'm gonna be alone on that with a lot of other people who make videos like this. But when I first smelled this, I fell in love so fast. Is it synthetic? 99.9% of designers are, so yes. But take everything that makes the main fragrance that this line started from, but just make it better with grapefruit. From the house of Dolce & Gabbana, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Sun. I mean, the bottle says it all. This looks like summertime. This is light blue with grapefruit. This fragrance highlights the citrus notes in light blue and just amplifies it with this dose of super juicy and slightly tangy grapefruit. I've been told that I smelled sexy. The word was sexy when a person smelled this. I'm not gonna drop who it is, and no, it's not my mom or a third cousin or the old lady at Walmart that just thinks I'm the cutest little thing she's ever seen. It was an attractive person. That's all you need to know. This will definitely work in the high heat. This is definitely something you should go check out if you're just really burning up to get a new summertime fragrance and you haven't smelled it yet. The beauty of this fragrance is not a lot of things smell like it, because grapefruit isn't a note that's used a whole heck of a lot in a lot of popular fragrances. So I do applaud Dolce & Gabbana for doing this one, because let's be real. The majority of the light blue flankers are just garbage, like just straight trash. So many of them. So in my opinion, this is the top of the trash heap. I definitely really enjoy this one. Formerly number 1, but at number 4 today, from the house of Dolce & Gabbana, Light Blue Sun. At number 3 is a fragrance that broke a lot of people's hearts because Dior decided that they no longer wanted to have iris in this one. This is a fragrance that I thought was so awesome because it didn't have iris in it. And I think iris has grown on me, but I think iris has its place. And in a summertime fragrance or a sporty fragrance, in my personal opinion, 0 place. And if you do add it, it's no longer a sporty or summer fragrance, in my opinion. Alas, my opinion. From the house of Dior Homme Sport, the 2017 edition. Think everything that is Dior Homme Sport, take away the iris and amp up the citrus and make blood orange center stage. Take that Dior Homme DNA that you love so much, strip away the iris and make it sporty, make it fresh, make it easy to wear. Some people will say this makes it quite generic, but it's high quality generic. This is without a doubt my favorite of all the sports. I think that anybody who smells this and hasn't smelled the iris and doesn't know a whole lot about Dior Homme will think it's great. If you smell this and the one with iris side by side and you're the average connoisseur, average consumer, you're gonna think that this smells sportier or more like summer, and I would agree with you. This is probably one of the best fragrances as far as quality when it comes to this top 10 list that I put together. And I definitely think it's something that you should all smell. Get a small decant. You can get them for super relatively cheap. MyFragranceSamples.com is a great place to get that. You could probably get it on eBay or some other website. This one right here though, love it. Mwah. Coming in at number 3 from the house of Dior Homme, Dior Homme Sport. At number 2 is a fragrance that I'm wearing out of pure research. It's a fragrance that I'm gonna wear a lot, and that's why I made it to number 2, because I really wanna see what people think about it, and if people can pick up the predecessor from it, and if people think it smells like its own fragrance. From the house of Giorgio Armani, Acqua di Gio Profundo. Yes, it's a small bottle. I like the small bottles now. I know it's a price loss and you're not getting the best bang for your buck, but at the end of the day, when you have as many fragrances as I do and as many fragrances as most of you people who are watching, you don't need a bigger bottle than this. You're not gonna burn through the whole thing, and if you do, you just get another one and you save the 20 or 30 bucks that you didn't spend on the bigger bottle and you move on. Anyway, this is the newest release and flanker from the line, and I have to say it's not half bad. It goes its own way. It has the same DNA as the original, but then you have some new things that pop up in there and give it kind of an earthier vibe, and I'm kind of digging it. I suggest if you haven't smelled it, get yourself a sample. I know you can't go into your local Macy's, Dillard's, Ulta, Sephora at this point in time, but you can buy samples online. And like I said before, innocent plug, I don't get anything for it. I just like the guy who owns it. MyFragranceSamples.com, you can definitely check this one out. It's a super cool new take on the old guy, but it kind of dries down into the old Acqua di Gio with a little more woodsier, earthier, just new kind of vibe, and kind of digging it. Do I like it better than Profumo, or do I like it better than Essenza? Probably not, but there's time. You never know. Coming in at number 2 from the house of Giorgio Armani, Acqua di Gio Profundo. At number 1 is a fragrance that is definitely overlooked, and it's been getting a little more steam lately. I know my buddy Ashton over the channel ScentSense has brought it up. I know I've brought it up. I think it's just a really great, high quality fragrance that just doesn't get the love it deserves. I think it's worth every one of the $30 or so it costs. From the house of Azzaro, yes, Azzaro, Chrome Aqua. I feel like this was like they've been sitting in a room, they've made all of these flankers like Legend, United, At the Pole, or whatever that one was, or Chrome Air, or Chrome Va, whatever they were all called. And they did all of those, and they're like, God, just something's missing. And then some guy leans in and goes, maybe we should make an aqua version. And then everyone's head exploded, and they go straight to the factory and start like mass hysteria trying to create a fragrance, and out comes this lovely gem right here. Think everything you like from the original, take a lot of that metallic sharpness out and add super fresh aqua notes. Think when Eternity went to Eternity Aqua, same vibe. It stripped away some of the original DNA and placed in things that are more mass appealing in today's day and age, things that are more working for the 2010s and going forward. You know, the original had its place when it came out, and it still works today, but not quite as good as this does. Only thing I don't like about it is the stupid cap. It's not snug. I know, it's petty, but I don't like it. This is definitely something that will contend with a lot of the other blue fragrances out there, and I definitely think that this one is worth every penny, and I don't like doing it a lot, but this, in my opinion, is blind buy worthy if you want a blue summertime fragrance. So finishing off my list and reigning supreme at the number 1 spot from the house of Azzaro, Chrome Aqua. All right, everybody, I know you've been stuck at home, and I know you're still probably stuck at home, but just know in the next upcoming months, we'll all be able to go out and experience the world full tilt, and you'll be able to rock a lot of these summer fragrances, and I'm sure you're gonna love it, and you're gonna have a new appreciation for it, which I hope you've gained throughout all of this quarantine. All right, let's get the conversation rolling. Go ahead in the comment section below. Let me know what fragrances make your top 10 list, which ones from this list you think are trash, and which ones from this list you're like, good choices. I hope my list was unique and original, and I hope that you took something from it. If you did, go ahead and leave a like, because that lets me know you liked the video. Now that you've made it to this point of the video, that lets me believe, or leads me to believe, that you've enjoyed the content. So why don't you go ahead and subscribe? And while you're at it, why don't you click the notification bell? That way when my videos come out, you will be the very first to know. And as always, and most importantly, I'll smell each and every one of you later. Peace.